Hello, good morning, and welcome to episode... Oh, malfunctioned. Oh, dear. Definitely need to find a station. Welcome to episode 23 of Nebula Quest, where, hopefully... Frameshift back online. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Yes, I am Noden, your host, as always. So many things are happening. I feel like I'm moving around a lot. I got kind of a new chair the other week, and I'm getting all this, fancy movements. Yes, so, let's talk about the last episode just very quickly, where I might have over-exaggerated, the excitedableness of the space news. It's still very exciting, but unfortunately, so as many have probably already heard, many might have guessed thereafter, the, okay, let's move away. We're not fueling, we're just heating up. We're not even heating up that much. So SpaceX had launched another rocket with a Dragon capsule on it, and then they were attempting their first stage recovery thing again, and everything went it was so close. It was perfectly in line kind of a thing, and then it made a little bit of a correction kind of a thing to account for some of the horizontal or lateral movement of both the ship and the rocket, and it seems like it just overcorrected slightly, so it kind of landed, but then it kind of tipped over. Basically, bad things happened, but regardless, still a hell of an achievement even in of itself. They're getting very close to doing this thing, and it won't be very long until they have indeed successfully recovered their first stage of their rocket, which is a major cost advantage to them once they can do that. Actually, one of my favorite ones, the favorite tweet that I saw was actually from just before that. I think it was from just before that. It was Elon Musk saying, had said something along the lines of, "If this works, I'm getting myself a hollowed out volcano base because it's time." And I'm like, yes, because we all see you as that sort of Bond villain, rich guy who's just, I'm gonna go to space, I'm gonna go to Mars, I'm gonna do all these things. I got power companies and car companies, and I gotta say, there are few people in this world that when you say, oh, this is maybe not a hero, but certainly a role model for what you can do with money and your desires to help humanity. I heard an interesting interview with him on Star Talk with Neil deGrasse Tyson, and it's honestly, the guy just seems so down to earth and normal, and he just has these dreams of things that he wants to do in the world, and every little thing that he does helps him to the next stage of the things he wants to do. So, I don't know, it's very cool. He's a very interesting man, he's a very accomplished man, obviously, he's a very intelligent man, and he is doing great things to better the world, as far as I'm concerned. Doesn't hurt him much that he's helping his bottom line at the same time, but, space travel, I wonder if SpaceX is actually pulling a profit. They must be, I don't know. They must be making enough money that they can continue their R&D and things like that. And, man, yeah, that's gotta be a pricey endeavor. Pretty pricey. Yes. Okay, so, on to other things that I wanted to talk about. Actually, one of the things I wanted to talk about was this weekend, has been a free weekend for Elder Scrolls Online. Actually, I shouldn't say it's a free weekend. It was a welcome back weekend or something like that. Basically, if you had been a beta tester, like I was, you were invited to come back and play for free for the weekend. So I've downloaded it, and I've played about an hour, because I wanted to get a sense of where the game was, what had happened with it. When I did the beta testing of it, I think like many people really just wanted it to be Skyrim but with your friends, and that's not really how it was. So I wanted to I so loved Skyrim right at that point in time that I was really I don't know. I was kind of worried that I judged it I did judged it harshly, we'll say. Ooh. This is very close. At 200 light seconds. And certainly the look of it is that it's a gas giant. Let's just take a look at this guy. We can actually be able to fill out something on Space Car Bingo. I'll have to get some definitions together because I forgot what some of these definitions are. But what was I going to say? But yes, I was worried that I judged it a little bit too harshly when I had done the beta testing of it. Oh yeah, it is big too. Oh, it's real big. That's bigger than Jupiter. Certainly in diameter, radius. Let's go take a peek-see at this baby. And at 200 light seconds, I gotta think that's gotta be that this has to qualify as a hot Jupiter. I'm going to let's do something that we often do. Let's just pull up our good friend here. What is a hot Jupiter?
Here's some information.
Perfect. Okay. Approximately 0.15 to 0.5 astronomical units from to their parent stars. Okay, so now I need to find out exactly how far an astronomical unit is. All this conversion and math stuff. Okay, you know what? I'm going to give this a tentative bing of hot Jupiter on the old space car bingo. I gotta flip my page over here. I haven't done this in so long. Let's kill the engine so we don't fly into this hot Jupiter here. And then if it turns out that we are wrong, there we go. We'll take that back. We'll take away its stamp. Luckily, we're using non-permanent ink. I'm gonna run another dubstep scanner real quick. Okay, good. So where were we? Oh yeah, so Elder Scrolls Online. So yeah, I was really worried that I had judged it unfairly because I loved the game so much. I've said all this already. So I wanted to kind of take a look at it. Plus, it's been a year. The other thing is that they've recently got rid of their subscription base. So it used to be that it was like a $70 game, and then you paid a monthly subscription for their server maintenance and so on and so forth. I don't have a problem with subscription-based things per se, but I need to be getting my entertainment hours out of it, and that's how I break it down. Like, you go to a film or something like that, which is the sort of my marking post. It cost me $20 roughly to go see a film. It's like, is it $20? Something like that, anyways, to go see a film, and I get, we'll say, roughly 2 hours of entertainment out of that. So I need to be getting basically $10 an hour kind of a thing. So if I'm getting 2 hours worth of entertainment, then the subscription base is fine if I'm going to see a movie every month kind of a thing. Anyways, just as a marking post, it's a convenient marking post. I use it for everything, for all my stupid expenses that I spend way too much money on. Okay, let's slow down, so we don't crash into this guy before we get it scanned. But their subscription base has gone out. I think they recently did a expansion pack with it. Like, it's been out for a year now, and I wanted to see where the game had kind of gone. Haven't quite gotten that far yet into it, so I can give it a honest judgment. Because they have this really like 45-minute long intro to the game, which isn't dissimilar to like the entry areas in, say, World of Warcraft or SOTOR or any other MMO, I'm sure. Let's just move on here. We've got a place to be, someplace we've been going since the last episode. But I don't know, it seems so far, and like I say, I'm not in a position to judge it yet. We'll have to see. It seems nice, like it looks okay, it handles okay, but it seems cheap. I don't know what it is that makes me feel that way. The way it makes me feel so far is where you see like a nice car, like from like an not an off manufacturer, but like a manufacturer of cars you don't really associate with luxury cars. So let's say, I don't know, you see a really nice Honda, What does Honda make that's kind of nice? The Honda... Oh, look how big this thing is. Oh, it is so big. It's gonna have many 10. Oh yes, okay, let's get some fuel while we're here.
Fuel scooping.
But like, say they make like for instance, like an Accord. That's what it was, a Honda Accord. That's like supposed to be like to compete with like a BMW like 5 Series kind of a thing. So they put it in that price range. It was kind of like getting into that Accord, but it still has all the really cheap feeling plastic stuff. Like, it looks really nice, and it's got like, you know, like carbon fiber bits and pieces, but it all just feels like really like cheap plastic. Are we not moving away from this thing, or are we?
Warning, taking heat damage.
Why are we still taking heat damage?
Malfunction. Fuel scoop disengaged.
Ooh. It could be that that's just that hot. Or there was some sort of strange bug with that. I'm gonna go with it's just that hot, but it's big. It looks real big though. Oh, I'm excited that we got to mark off something on Space Car Bingo. But yeah, it just felt really kind of cheap, and like, I mean, actually the voice acting was actually okay. It was actually really nice for the sections that we were in. Again, it's all intro stuff where you expect that, where they kind of spend that little bit of extra money to kind of like dig their claws in and be like, oh well, Orange Giant, indeed. That was very big. It's very pretty. Nice sip of space coffee. Alright, so let us get a mosey on with our exploring of this. Oh, imagine it's Alright, I was gonna say, yeah, like, where you kind of expected to spend the extra money, but I don't know, there was something about it that just, like, the way it moved, the combat just didn't feel very, like, I could see how they were really trying to bring in sort of that Skyrim style, like, combat where you actually have to swing your sword and do different things like that, but it just didn't, I don't know, it just didn't gel right, like, somewhere in there between the, and this is like an hour, like 40 minutes or an hour's worth of play, like, I barely scratched the surface, so I'm not going to say that it's a bad game or anything like that, it's not worth checking out. Would I spend $70 on my experience so far of it? I can't say I would. I certainly wouldn't be paying a subscription for it, but which I said, now that they're not in subscription, it becomes a lot easier to justify playing the game, but it's still $70. So, I don't know. That's a tough one to say. I'm going to play it a little bit more this weekend, and then maybe by next Thursday I'll be able to kind of give a more, like, a proper, like, hey, this is what's going on in the game. I kind of thought I might do an actual video about it with it, but I don't know, we'll have to see. I've recorded some of my gameplay so far. Oh, sorry, itchy ear. Yeah, I've recorded some of my gameplay so far so that I can do sort of that thing, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's like, I don't know, I found moments already, like, again, it's an intro to the game where they've got a lot of lore, too, that they're trying to get into you so that they can get you going, and I don't know, it just seemed like in Skyrim, for instance, and it's the only thing I can compare it to, things were just a lot slower to develop. Like, there wasn't like a, hey, here's a million things you need to know before, you know, you leave the intro area. Like, I don't know, like, you look at World of Warcraft, certainly my imaginings or my rememberings of World of Warcraft, like the starting areas, they were really designed to just make you feel like a regular guy who was a fighter or something. I don't remember exactly how it made you feel, but you didn't feel like you were special, you didn't feel out of the ordinary, you were just some guy or girl, or I should say, or lady or woman, you're just some dude, somebody, who was just in, you know, an area doing some cool things, like helping a brother out. But like Skyrim, which is one of the things I didn't like about Skyrim, and I haven't played to my own fault like the previous, or have I? Oh, maybe I have. But the previous Elder Scrolls games, I think I played one of them. I don't remember which one, but it was like I like that. I'm just a regular dude. I don't need, like in Skyrim, all that Dragonborn crap. Like, I don't need to be special. I just need to be a guy who's in a situation in the world, and especially in an MMO, I don't want to be special. I don't want to be surrounded by a bunch of people who also think they're special. I want to be surrounded by people who think that they're regular guys and girls creating their own universe, role-playing their own lives in this digital world. I don't need you are the prophet, no, you are the savior, you are the only person who can save the universe. Which was one of my problems with Star Wars The Old Republic too, is that, you have all these people who are very different and have different play styles, different desires, but you have to have that overarching storyline to it, and part of that overarching storyline is you have to be the savior of the world or galaxy, and that was just a bit much for me. I know it's not what I want in an MMO. I want it to be my story. I don't want to feel like I'm playing a part in your story. So I don't know. That's a personal feeling. I mean, I really enjoyed the storyline from some of the storylines for some of the characters for SWTOR were just some of the best, and the role playing that could go along with it, where it was fantastic. One of my favorite, because you had like that sort of like Knights of the Old Republic, where your decisions made a difference to the story a little bit, or you felt that they did anyways, where you could kind of choose your own responses to things. Oh my god, there were so many. What was the one that I loved so much was I played around with a dark side, not Juggernaut. What was the other one? Sorcerer? I don't remember. But I did a female character for a change, and it was a shit, I can't remember. Anyways, but they had this whole like slave, like you were a former slave underpinning to it, and mixed with the dark side stuff. And then, oh goodness, the best thing about playing a dark side character in SWTOR, one of my favorite parts of it was that you could choose how you were dark side. The dark side is very many layers, we'll say, and it's really never explained very well in like kind of the movies and things like that. Because, and I'm a big light side freak myself. I mean, if I was going to be a Jedi, I'd be a Jedi. I wouldn't be a Sith. But there's the dark side where you think of like the dark side where like the Emperor or something like that, where you're just like, evil, take over the world kind of thing. And then you have the dark side where like, torture people and blah 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 blah. But there's the other side of dark side, which is just I'm just really selfish. Like, I'm just like for myself, or I just don't feel like, paying attention to your rules kind of thing. Like you're sort of anarchist, sort of dark side person who's just like, maybe he kills you, maybe she kills you, maybe she lets you live. It really comes down to, like, maybe she falls in love with you. It really just comes down to how you come across with her or him, and that's part of the dark side too. I mean, the light side was all like, oh, your emotions are bad for you, until you get into like sort of the new Jedi Academy time zone where your people are falling in love, and then there's like battle inside the academy. Anyway, it's all very complicated. This is going very much deep into sort of the expanded universe, but anyways, you had to choose how the kind of Sith that you were, and I could be just like, like an okay person. I didn't have to be like super evil, and I didn't feel like I mean, there were advantages to being really, really good or really, really bad. There's no real advantages to running the middle ground, which kind of sucked to an extent, but at the same time, it just played perfectly into my character and how I thought my character would react. I loved that storyline. Also on the Sith side was the Imperial Agent, where you had this like James Bond character Oh my god, that was a fun storyline too. Actually, the Sith side, the storylines were really great. I did a series on for a little while, very little while, back in the beta. I believe I started it for SOTOR on this channel with Dredger, who was a bounty hunter. Forgot the word for a second. And that was a pretty fun storyline too. Like, it was such a fun game. I really missed that game, and it's still one of the few games where I can kind of get my I am a Jedi fix. So I just still jump back in there very once in a while, like kind of like once every like 8 months or so. I'll be like, I should download that again, and like I'll pay for like 2 months of subscription. I'll pay for a week, and really waste some money. But yeah, the storylines in there are really great, but the problem is that because the storylines are so damn good, they have almost no replayability. Once you play them once, you can kind of replay them again and like change your answers to questions and things like that, but you find that doesn't really change too much of the story, really, and it just makes you feel a little bit different with how you roleplay stuff, and then everything becomes really predictable, like problems with the MMOs are generally. And that was sort of my issues I had with, say, WoW, and that's one of the reasons why I stopped playing. Actually, ironically, I had somebody ask me just the other day, why did I stop playing World of Warcraft? That was exactly it, is that I had a high-level character. I had done some raiding and things like that. I'd been through a number of expansions and doing the expansion thing. But I didn't want to raid anymore. That wasn't what I wanted to do. I didn't feel like logging on every day to do daily so I can grind out stuff. I wanted to still feel like I was having an adventure like I did when you were leveling up. And so you go, okay, so you start leveling up a new character, but you can only do that so many times. Like, and when I had 5 at the time. I think level cap was 80 when I stopped, I think. Or 85. I don't remember. One or the other. But I think I had 5 characters who were at max level at that point, and a number of them were, various places on the way up, because I enjoyed it. But on that one especially, there's not any kind of different storyline. Like, you were just playing that storyline, like just the WoW storyline. So I mean, that part was good because you had that make yourself, like, create your own roleplay adventure. But I mean, you did it, but when you re-rolled for a different kind of character or something like that, you were just doing it just to expand that adventure and have a different play style. Whereas with SOTOR, you had that whole other story that you could try out. You just didn't want to repeat that same storyline ever again. So, that was the other one. Actually, the Smuggler on the light side was also a fantastic storyline. I love that one too. Very, very funny. Had some really fun characters. Again, like, maybe it's just the Jedi and the counselor ones that were just a little bit, like, boring. But then you would kind of expect it to be with. I mean, Jedis are pretty boring, aren't they? Ooh, speaking of which, I just saw a new trailer today too for the new Star Wars film. I'm very excited for it. It's like this Christmas, and I'm like, oh my god. But then I'm like, oh, time. It's like Christmas is so far away. I'm like, I don't want time to go any faster. I got a whole year of motorcycle riding and things that I want to get under my belt before that happens. But at the same time, I just want to watch the movie. Why can't they just let me watch the movie? When are you going to take the kid to see the cats? All right. Perfect. That is a very terrible reference that I just made. I am sorry that I made it. Okay, is there anything in this solar system, star system, other than rocks? I was really hoping, huge, star that is, big orange giant that is, that I could get, maybe a planet, maybe some stations, maybe another star around here. Actually, there probably is another star. I should really take a look. But I think that will wait until, like, what is all that? What is all that shit? That's, like, directly ahead of us. Like, that huge cluster looks like it's got to be another, like, star, right? I think it probably is. Do we have time to do it? It'd make a 30-minute episode if we went exploring that thing. Let's do one of these. Oh, it definitely is too. Okay. Then let's do it. Let's do it. We're gonna do it. We'll get there. Hopefully we'll get there, and that will call it the episode. If we can ever explore this thing, let's slow down so that we can do this in one pass. It's very close. Oh, we're gonna pass that. Okay. Okay, it's fine. Let's run this and just see if we can pick it up. One new. Damn it. Okay. Okay, so it's gonna be like a 180 from where we are. It's basically I gotta try to find that stupid thing again. Take a sip of space coffee. I gotta clean this coaster. It's very sticky. Oh, I just really want a system where I can kind of go and sell my wares. Come on, there we go. Anyway, so yeah, what was I saying? So yeah, not everything that I want it to be. Okay, I don't really care about that thing right now. I want to try to find that thing again. Okay, so it's gonna be away from the sun. I accidentally hit that thing. There it is. Alright, let's speed up. Here we go. Let's get a move on. And, you know, I can leave a rock undiscovered. Whatever, it's a rock. Yeah, so I don't know, like, Elder Scrolls Online, again, it just doesn't have any, it just didn't feel very polished, and especially for that first 45-minute period where you need it to lock people into a game. Like you can see it with like say Far Cry 4 or something like that, where they spend so much time just like developing story and whatnot in that first little bit, but they do it in such a way that you feel like you're really part of the story almost, even if you don't have much control over your character. You feel like you're part of something. What is this? Is this just a... Like I said, a star, or is it just a planetary system? Looks like it's just a planetary system. Many news. Okay, so we've done some scans. Okay, let's pop up to the top here. Cool. Alright, so we will discover these guys next time, I think. Let's just maybe pop in a little bit closer, and then we can scan this bad boy. And then once that's done, just keep running these things. I want to just pop into here. I'm gonna wrap up this thing eventually. Don't worry. I gotta think that there's gonna be more in this system. That's such a huge star. How big is this planet? 75. So it's about the same size as that Jupiter that we found before, right? That hot Jupiter we just found. But yeah, okay. So let's slow it down. Let's unmark that thing. Let's jump out of frame shift. Okay. So wrapping up. Space car bingo. We have marked something off for the first time in weeks and weeks. I'm really excited. I'm really happy about that. That means that we're we're like a red giant and a another player away from, again, giving away a copy of Elite Dangerous, something I've been trying to do for so long, but have yet to do. Regardless, we will try again next week. And until then, ciao, I love you. Good night.